Okay, so today is it's February 2012, and I'm going to finally get to do something that I haven't in a long time. We normally wouldn't do it in a month like this because it's still technically supposed to be winter toward the end of February, but nonetheless, the weather is nice, so we're going to give it a little shot. I'm going back to doing the raised beds like we did before, trying to mimic the kind of success I had when we had spinach growing in the raised bed. And it grew very, very well. As a matter of fact, it was all organic. So I went and got a couple of spinach plants from the store. It does not have genetically modified seeds in any way, so trying to keep it as organic as possible. I do have some seeds that I will use later on. I just don't have them right now. I want to kind of get a start, so I'll probably start the seedlings and put them in that flower pot later on, so that we can get our own individual growth too. This actually was the basil plant that I had last year, if you remember. This is the tops of it, and it has its own seeds here, so I'm going to use that. Later on, I'm going to shake some of those seeds off and create some seedlings from that, which would be a rebirth from the plant that was that I had last year that was huge. I mean, that thing grew to at least about 5.5 feet tall. So, and it would have grown longer if I hadn't taken it up from its original location to replant it. So, what I'm doing here is real easy. My aunt and I got a couple of crates that you can get from anywhere, from little produce sellers, distributors at the farmers markets or whatever, and a good use for the crates is to actually use them as above ground planters. So we just took a little bit of a plastic bag. You can take anything, any kind of black protective fabric if you wanted to, and put it on the inside and staple it around as long as the soil is kept in, and put a couple holes at the bottom for drainage, slitting them. These are some plants that we've had. These are collard green. No, actually these are broccoli. These are broccoli, and I think this is a collard plant that's survived through the winter. So I just took them out of the ground and replanted them to give them a better soil mixture. They should pop back to life in no time at all. About another week, we'll check it out. So we just have a regular little potting soil here that I got from Lowe's. That's the potting mix, and I always use, with tremendous success, the black cow manure. It's excellent. If you want something like a spinach needs a lot of a very rich soil. The best thing to do is just put it in the cow manure. As a matter of fact, I've actually seen people take the cow manure, split the bag, open it up, and just put spinach seeds, plants in there, and it grows from that. So when I saw that idea, I said, well, I'll just tell you what, I'll just take a bag of the cow manure, put it inside one of the crates, make a heavier composition of the cow manure as opposed to potting soil, and see what happens. And last year, it was amazing. I had spinach leaves that were bigger than my head, as a matter of fact. So see what we can do this time around. The next thing that I'll probably start planting are tomatoes from last year, the seeds that I have originally too. So the weather's good, so we'll see what kind of run we can get. Also, these are those same collard green plants that I had in my former residence before I had to actually take them up. So they survived the whole winter and they're still going strong. It's very, very interesting. The leaves are beautiful, and we're still cooking them. And as you can see, you know, I mean, look how long they are. Look how big and beautiful that stem is too. So all that because of I think because of the soil. But I just recently transplanted them and actually planted them in the proper way. So we'll see what happens. And these are kale that actually did not grow that well throughout the season, but that's because they weren't planted. This lettuce plant actually grew from a seed. This is actually a spinach plant, and it was just a seed that got lost in the soil, and it's coming up on its own, but it's not doing nearly what it should. And these are kale as well that were in the container just about 4 or 5 months, and I guess they just never had the soil or the room to grow, so they didn't. So I replanted these yesterday, and we'll keep an eye on them the next couple of weeks to see what the kale does. All right, so in the meantime, this is the soil that I'm going to use for the spinach. And I'm going to make this whole crate nothing but spinach. That way, we'll be able to focus exclusively on that. I'll probably add fish emulsion and worm casting tea at some point too to accelerate some of the growth. But we're going to keep it all organic. So all I'm going to do is real simple. In this one, I'm going to take a little spoon and make a hole there. It's pretty good depth. And after I dig the hole, I'm actually going to use this as my secret weapon that I just discovered from a hardware store that's local here in East Point. It's called Wonder Soil. I highly recommend getting this. It's all organic. And it has the main thing that plants love, the worm casting. That's awesome. But all these other things, cocoa fiber, the kelp, biosoil, all that stuff is still 100% organic. It's just all these things are power packed into one particular ingredient. So I usually will take a scoop of this and I'll put it inside the hole as well, and then I'll plant that with either a seed or, in this case, with the individual sprout that's coming up as well, and great results. So I'll probably do a video of that too. All right, so if you can, get the Wonder Soil. Take a look at the Black Cow. The Black Cow is excellent for mixing in a soil mixture, and just some regular good soil too. The other thing about this that makes it real easy that I like is that there are no weeds. So you can continue to come back to this and check on the growth. It can be gone for a long time. All you need is some water to come through, and you're not digging through an endless array of weeds. That always makes a difference. See you later.